First-time callers on this live Sunday edition, I'm going to give out the toll-free number to call us here in just a few minutes, and we'll start taking your calls in the next segment. We'll also get into the latest on the collapsing border, the latest on the devalued dollar, and more. Now, I'm a libertarian, a constitutionalist. I don't like government. I really don't like big government. So I don't lionize Vladimir Putin. But he wants a strong nationalistic Russia. They're moving away from communism. Alexander Solzhenitsyn endorsed Putin before he died. Let's look that up. London Guardian. U.S. ambassador to Russia met with him and says, is this really true? And he said, yes, we want nationalism. And Solzhenitsyn wrote a book, How the West Funded Communism, and actually put the Bolsheviks in. It's all true. You know, the Nobel Prize winner that was such a hero to Ronald Reagan? Ronald Reagan said his greatest hero, John Wayne's hero, endorsed Vladimir Putin. And, you know, wrote on chalk his book, Gulag Archipelago, when he was in decades in a forced labor camp under the Stalinists, and memorized it and then wrote it when he got out. But he wrote dozens of other books, and some of his last books basically could have been written by me. I was reading his quotes just last night. They have huge websites of them, and it was exactly everything I say. Even though I've only read a few of his books, I've got to read the rest of them. It was that he understood tyranny so well that it was quotes that I've basically given, but just a little bit more elegantly put, because he had seen evil up front. And it wasn't that, I'm not comparing myself to Alexander Solzhenitsyn. My point is truth is truth. It's self-evident. Yeah, there's the U.S. Embassy cables, The Guardian. Solzhenitsyn praises Putin, 2010, 2008 as well. All right, anyways, continuing. Oh, yeah, they were very concerned. And I'm not bragging when I tell you this, because I knew about this years ago when I was at RT headquarters in New York and then in L.A. The head of RT at the time, who was replaced because the State Department freaked out and threatened to shut him off if I was ever allowed back on there. So I'd go on national Russian TV and criticize communism, criticize Stalin, criticize the New World Order, say whatever I wanted. The head of RT was a huge listener, and they were, I was told they literally started it, modeled a little bit off InfoWars, that was part of it, and that the basic Russian government listens to my show. And I never really said that on air because it sounds so wild, but it's confirmed. And it's come out in communiques and cables and stuff like that. And it's been in the London Telegraph that Assad also, they hacked his emails, and, you know, the government was reading our analysis at Infowars.com, my analysis. And I'm not saying that arrogantly, but when the Russian government's listening to you, you might as well just say that that's going on. I mean, it's no mistake that, you know, now I've been invited on national Russian TV repeatedly to be on with Vladimir Putin's best buddy, I forget his name, that runs the state-run media over there, and I've said no. You know, the crews had the request come in. I've said no, because this is getting too close to war, and I'm not going on Russian media. And again, Vladimir Putin was in the KGB, did head up the FSB, then after that he was the deputy mayor of Moscow. And I'm not lionizing him, but do you know that liberty's sexy and we could sell people on freedom? Putin pays them to have kids. They, on national TV, talk about cancer viruses and the vaccines, the globalists creating AIDS, the New World Order, the whole plan. And you have to understand, this broadcast, I've had the #3 guy in the British, well, the British government as well, but I've had high-level folks from the Japanese government on. I mean, I'm not bragging, folks. I've had to come to the fact of the realization that this is the good news to all of you out there. The world listens to this broadcast, and governments listen. And you know why the governments listen? You know why the military listens, and why they have news articles, mainstream news, where they're ordering the military not to listen to my show? Why do you think that is? Because, folks, it scares the globalists that have hijacked the CIA and the Pentagon and our whole system. It scares them that we understand the game plan. They're scared of Ron Paul. They're scared of Rand Paul, too, folks. They know Rand Paul's for real. I don't know about Ted Cruz. I like him. I like what he says. Let me tell you, I know Rand Paul. He's for real. See, we're just normal people who don't want nuclear war and want dads to be dads, moms to be moms, private property, right to defend yourself, right to have a future. We like America. We like Russia. We like Japan. We like Brazil. I want to see Brazil do good. I want to see the world do good. We have goodwill. And that's infectious in a time of great evil. People want to be good. They just have been taught that only evil gets them ahead. Well, it doesn't get you ahead in the end. And we're coming down to the end game right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming down to 21st century high-tech war. And Vladimir Putin and Brazil and China, and boy, you know how much I hate communist China, and they're totally evil leaders. The point is they are seeing their currency devalued because of the dollar devaluing that our elite and the private Federal Reserve cartel is engaged in. And it's these same bankers that are invested in China, they're invested in Russia, they're playing us all off against each other. We should come together as a human family and say no to war and no to destabilization and no to the Western-backed Palestinian groups launching rockets to give Israel a pretext to attack, to cause destabilization. The same globalists are pulling the puppet strings on Israel and the Palestinians. But we should say, okay, I'll talk about the Palestinians because I care about them. Nobody likes images of dead kids. If you'll talk about hundreds of thousands of Christians killed in Iraq and Syria and Libya by Western-backed, worst of the worst, bottom of the barrel, jihadi, al-Qaeda, ISIS scum. If you do that, then I'll morally know you really care. Because, see, I'm just as upset about dead Jewish kids and Palestinians and Christians, ladies and gentlemen, because I know the globalist hand, not unseen, folks. When you know about it, it's right there, is organizing chaos, just like the first James Bond movie, written by a high-level former member of British intelligence, Ian Fleming, where the organization Chaos, or is it Spectre, is manipulating the Russians and the U.S. off against each other to consolidate power. Because who gains when we have sanctions and things are shut down and economies fold and Obamacare bankrupts things and the borders collapsing and our jobs being shipped? Who wants us bankrupt? Banks. And not your corner bank. When I talk about banks, I don't mean your bank down the street that gives you a loan for farming. Or if I talk about the military, I don't mean our military men and women. I mean the people running it at the top. They don't have our goodwill at heart. They don't have our interest at heart. And when I come back, I'm going to give the phone number out, and then we're going to get into why this is all happening and get into the big picture of what's going to happen next. The toll-free number to join us, first-time callers today, I haven't done that in about a week or two, 877-789-2539, 877-789-ALEX. For Alex Jones, I'm your host. That's 877-789-ALEX. Different number than the weekday show. Weekday show is produced in the same studio, but the phone lines are in Minnesota. This is all produced in-house right here on Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. from South Austin. Infowars.com. Follow us on Twitter at Real Alex Jones, and check out the amazing pro-liberty products we have at InfoWarsStore.com. I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. Most people know that iodine deficiency has been a crisis around the world. Iodine is key to so many of the body's functions, especially the thyroid. I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group. You now know it as Survival Shield, true nascent iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating, and the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox Special at InfoWarsLife.com.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered with the Pro Pure G2.0 filtration system.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
The Pro Pure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today and get your free wire stand